porn star decapitated couple, a grim chronicle of murder and dismemberment. Yostin Andres Mosquera, a 35-year-old man, stands accused of a double homicide that has shocked the nation. The victims, Alfonso, 62, and Paul Longworth, 71. The alleged crime occurred on July 8, 2024, in the quiet Shepherd's Bush neighborhood of West London. Mosquera admits to the manslaughter of Alfonso, but vehemently denies the two murder charges. The prosecution has rejected this plea. The trial will proceed, focusing on the brutal and disturbing details that have emerged. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The prosecution paints a horrifying picture of decapitation, dismemberment, and calculated disposal. The remains of Alfonso and Longworth were discovered in suitcases near the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. Further body parts were found, chillingly stored in a chest freezer at the couple's London home. Mosquera claims he was engaged in extreme sex with Alfonso when the alleged attack occurred. Disturbingly, this act was reportedly captured on video. Prosecutors allege that Mosquera then recorded a clip of himself singing and dancing in the aftermath. The sequence of events, according to the prosecution, began with Longworth. He was allegedly attacked first, struck with a hammer, fracturing his skull. Alfonso then suffered a far more gruesome fate. He died from repeated stab wounds inflicted upon his face and body. Mosquera, a Colombian national, had a complex relationship with the deceased couple. He was a frequent visitor to their home. He was allegedly paid for sexual encounters with Alfonso. Prosecutors have described Mosquera as a pornographic performer. The motive, they argue, extends beyond a moment of uncontrolled violence. They believe Mosquera was attempting to steal from Alfonso and Longworth. Evidence suggests a calculated plan. Searches on Mosquera's computer revealed inquiries into the value of the couple's home. He also searched for Alfonso's bank login information. The video of Mosquera singing and dancing after the alleged murders is a key piece of evidence. It paints a disturbing picture of his state of mind. His arrest occurred in Bristol, following a report of a suspicious man carrying a suitcase near the bridge. The contents of those suitcases were horrifying. They contained the dismembered remains of Alfonso and Paul Longworth. The discovery led investigators back to the couple's home in London. There they found a chest freezer containing further remains. Chillingly, Mosquera allegedly searched for a chest freezer on Facebook Marketplace before the killings. This detail suggests premeditation and a disturbing level of planning. Mosquera's admission of manslaughter for the death of Alfonso is a point of contention. He continues to deny both charges of murder. The prosecution's rejection of the manslaughter plea sets the stage for a complex and emotionally charged trial. Alfonso and Longworth had entered into a civil partnership in February 2023. Their lives, tragically cut short, have become the subject of intense scrutiny. Mosquera, residing on Scots Road in Shepherd's Bush, now faces the full weight of the legal system. The initial response to the discovery was swift. Officers arrived at the bridge within 10 minutes of the report. However, Mosquera had already left the area, abandoning the suitcase. A second suitcase was soon located nearby. Police confirmed the grim reality. Human remains were found in both. The case has garnered significant attention, not only for the loss of life, but for the sheer brutality of the alleged crimes. The trial of Yostin Andres Mosquera has commenced, promising to be a harrowing journey through evidence and testimony. The prosecution aims to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Mosquera is guilty of 2 counts of murder. They will present forensic evidence, witness statements, and the disturbing video footage. The defense, on the other hand, will likely argue for a lesser charge, focusing on the manslaughter plea. They may attempt to portray the events as a tragic accident, a moment of uncontrolled rage during a sexual encounter. The burden of proof, however, rests firmly on the prosecution. The jury will be tasked with sifting through the gruesome details and determining Mosquera's guilt or innocence. The case raises difficult questions about motive, intent, and the nature of violence. The outcome will have profound implications for all involved. The forensic evidence is expected to play a crucial role in the trial. The prosecution will present expert testimony on the cause of death for both victims. They will detail the nature of the injuries, the weapons used, and the manner in which the bodies were dismembered. DNA evidence will likely link Mosquera to the crime scene and the remains. The prosecution will also present evidence of Mosquera's online searches for the value of the couple's home and Alfonso's bank details. This evidence is intended to establish a clear motive for the murders: financial gain. The defense may challenge the forensic evidence, questioning the chain of custody or the interpretation of the results. They may also attempt to introduce alternative explanations for the presence of Mosquera's DNA at the scene. The battle of experts will be a key aspect of the trial. The defense strategy remains somewhat unclear, but it is likely to center around the manslaughter plea. They may argue that Mosquera acted in self-defense or that he was provoked by Alfonso. They may also attempt to portray Mosquera as a vulnerable individual, manipulated or exploited by the older couple. The defense will likely challenge the prosecution's portrayal of Mosquera as a cold-blooded killer. They may present evidence of his background, his mental state, and his relationship with the victims. The goal will be to create reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors. The defense may also focus on the lack of a clear motive. They may argue that the prosecution's theory of financial gain is weak and unsupported by the evidence. They may suggest that the murders were the result of a spontaneous act of violence, rather than a premeditated plan. Albert Alfonso and Paul Longworth were a couple who had built a life together in London. Their civil partnership in February 2023 was a testament to their commitment. Their lives were tragically cut short in a brutal and senseless act of violence. Little information has been released about their personal lives, but they are remembered by friends and neighbors as a kind and quiet couple. Their deaths have left a void in their community. Their families are now seeking justice for their loss. The trial will undoubtedly bring further details about their lives and their relationship with Mosquera. Their story serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of violence and the importance of seeking justice for victims of crime. The murders of Albert Alfonso and Paul Longworth have had a profound impact on the Shepherd's Bush community. Residents are shocked and disturbed by the brutality of the crime. Many are struggling to come to terms with the fact that such violence could occur in their neighborhood. The case has also raised concerns about the safety of vulnerable individuals. The fact that Mosquera was allegedly paid for sexual encounters with Alfonso has sparked debate about the exploitation of sex workers. The community is now grappling with difficult questions about safety, security, and the protection of vulnerable populations. The trial is expected to bring further attention to the case and its impact on the community. Residents are hoping for a swift and just resolution. They are also seeking answers to the many questions that remain unanswered. The case of Yostin Andres Mosquera has broader implications for the criminal justice system. It raises questions about the investigation of complex homicides, the use of forensic evidence, and the prosecution of individuals accused of violent crimes. The case also highlights the challenges of dealing with defendants who have a history of mental health issues or substance abuse. The trial will be closely watched by legal professionals, true crime enthusiasts, and the general public. The outcome will likely have a significant impact on the way similar cases are investigated and prosecuted in the future. The case also serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need to protect vulnerable individuals from harm. The jury's verdict will be a defining moment in the case of Yostin Andres Mosquera. If found guilty of murder, he faces a lengthy prison sentence, potentially life imprisonment. If found guilty of manslaughter, he faces a lesser sentence, but still a significant period of incarceration. The verdict will bring closure to the families of Albert Alfonso and Paul Longworth. It will also send a message to the community about the consequences of violence. Regardless of the outcome, the case will remain a dark chapter in the history of Shepherd's Bush. The trial is a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of seeking justice for victims of crime. It is a story of betrayal, violence, and the devastating consequences of human actions. The world watches, waiting for the final chapter to be written.